I've had questions about what this was all for, so let me see if I can quickly summarize it. The black coils to the left are full of water. The sun shines on the black pipe and that heats up the water. The hot tub to the right is about a 300-gallon tank that is also full of water. The water from the coils is pumped from the hot tub through the coils and then back into the tank again. Over time, that raises the temperature of the water in the hot tub. That water just stays there, though, between the hot tub and the coils. When I want to take a shower, water is pumped from the main water tank through another 200-foot coil that is inside the hot tub. There, the cold water from the tank is heated by the water in the 300-gallon tank, and then it goes through pipes back into the house. That 200-foot coil is always full of water, and so it is constantly full of warm water that is picked up temperature from the hot tub. The reason for the 300 gallons of hot water in that tank is once that water gets hot, it has enough thermal mass to hold the heat. The tank is insulated, so even the next morning the water would be warm. That was the theory, at least. In reality, I realized a couple of things. The power needed to run the recirculating pump was more than I was producing some days. And second, I didn't really need warm water in the morning. I typically take a shower in the evening, and the water is always pretty warm then, even on a cloudy day. So I decided to take this whole system apart and reuse the parts for other projects. It's not a failed experiment exactly. I think the idea could be made to work. I just decided to put my energy into solving other problems first. Okay, on with the show already. I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but I've got a few inches of water left in there, maybe 6 or 8 inches, something like that. So, like I said, I've already done this once, transferred some of it out for the garden. Now I'm going to try to get the rest of it out. Over here, let's see. These two blue lines come from the water pump, my main water for the showers and so on, to here, comes in one of those and out the other, and that goes through. I think this is kind of showing up. This is 200 feet of black pipe that's coiled up. The idea was going to be that the water from the heating coils would heat up the water in the tank, and then the water in the tank would transfer its heat to these coils and send the water down for the shower. The reason for doing it that way was it didn't matter if this water in here was dirty, the water going to the shower was inside the other pipe. That was kind of the idea. Okay, it's a few inches from the bottom. I got the pump so it doesn't actually rest on the bottom, but man, that's great. We got 130 gallons there. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure how much of this I want to do today, but it is a good day for being outside. It's not too windy yet, so I'm probably going to spend some time taking this apart. So, kind of like one, reclaiming some parts, two, getting this set up for somewhere else. So where it is right now, it's not doing me a lot of good, so I'll see if I can do something better with it. It's kind of the idea. It was one of those things, it was a fairly expensive experiment, and it didn't really do what I thought it was going to do, is the idea. All right, so if I can break it down and reclaim some of the parts. Now the problem with PVC is once you've glued it, you pretty much, that's it. The PEX is a lot easier to reuse, but I've got the pump I can get out of there. Some of these, if there's enough room in between them, I can cut them and reuse that piece for something else, and I'm looking towards, greenhouse projects and that kind of thing. This is, 200 feet of black pipe. I'll just rinse off the outside, the inside's clean. It seems weird to be taking this apart. I put so much effort into it. I'm going to take the rest of the top off so I can see what's going on in there. If I have any more dead mice, I want to flip them out. Styrofoam I can reuse for other projects, and the wood, a lot of it, I can reuse for other projects. This was made out of 5/8 ply OSB instead of 7/16. I bought it by accident. Couldn't figure out why it was so heavy, and it was also more money. I didn't mean to buy it, so I used it for this project and also for the the backs of the coils. So those are all super heavy duty, so they'll last even longer. Lots of mouse turds. Just interesting how much rust is in there. So that's the next thing now, is to get that pump out of there. That's good enough. Alright, it's not fair because I already broke it loose, but I just was curious. They are coming off, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me to cut that hose, but that's good to know. I could probably shoot some WD-40 on that and reuse it again. Okay, what I've got, oh, the shop vac is just on the other side. You can't see it, but you can see the hose. A 2-inch pipe is a close enough fit, so I just took some black Gorilla Tape and taped the 2-inch pipe to the end of the hose. I'm blowing air, not sucking water, so I'm hoping even if it's not perfectly efficient, it should work a little bit. All right. That's better than I could have hoped. So yeah, the shop vac is just right there, and we're just pumping air and pushing water. This is awesome. I had no idea what to expect. The shop vac back into sucking mode, and it's, since I got that taped on there, I'm just going to leave it on for now, and I'm going to use this for a pickup. And since this is going to go for gardening anyway, I guess I don't care if I pick up any of the slimy guys, really. Okay, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, 1st of May, 2020. So I've got air compressor plugged into the inverter directly. It's best if you don't have extension cords. Just seems to work better. And then you can run your long hose. The last time out, I used the vacuum cleaner discharge to blow air into the black lines, and or actually it was these ones, through the system. That worked really pretty well. Okay. So I was able to get most of the water out of those. I don't know how much is in there still. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. I'm not going to mess with these right now. So what I'm kind of looking at is doing this incrementally. So what I want to do today is to get the water out of this coil. And this is clean water. It's direct from the tank. So it comes from the tank to the pump, through the trench, into here, goes around 200 feet, comes back out, goes into my shower. Okay, so this is still considered clean water. Even though the outside looks awful, the inside is clean, okay? It's also really heavy, so I can't just pick it up, and it's awkward, and all those wires that are tying the coil together are really rusty, so I don't want to be picking it up and stabbing myself and, you know, dying of, what is it, tetanus, lockjaw, one of those things. So the plan is I will be shutting the pump off and then shutting off as many valves as I have to isolate the house and the bus from here. That'll depressurize in here. But I'm going to take this whole thing apart in stages. So what I want first is to get this coil out on the ground somewhere, maybe over there. I'm trying to think of where I won't be tripping over it too much. So maybe it'll end up about here. So I'm going to pull the coil and the PEX out and then hook it up. And short term, I'm going to run just this coil by itself as my water heater. Took a shower last night based on the heat that was in this. After I drained the water out of here, I still had enough sun shining on that coil. The water in the shower pan was 91 degrees when I got done the shower. And considering air temperature was about 85 to 95 degrees yesterday, that felt really comfortable. Not cold at all. Felt really good. Nothing in here trying to kill me. So that switch runs the pump. So we'll shut that off. That turns this one off. That's a DC pump. It's not turned on. Now, I want to isolate the house. So these two, let's see, off is that way. So the house is isolated now. This one goes to the bus. We'll isolate that one. That's that one. These are ratcheting cutters. Not too bad though. Good. Okay, so that worked out all right. Not a huge leak, right? Get some of the dirt off, and we'll just do the same thing on here. And again, we're losing some, but not massive amounts. Good. Okay. Be fine. So it's going to come out there, and we're going to blow air in here. Yeah. Don't do that again. Yeah, it just blew water all over me. Perfect. I think the trick is don't put too much air in. Just give it a little puff and then wait. Yeah, it's definitely working. A little rubber seal would be perfect here. I just can't find one. Like a lot of my other projects, this has to work just good enough one time. But I was just curious how well it would work with low PSI, and seems like it's working well. Okay, that's a better fit. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, there we go. We're not losing it. And knowing that I'm not exceeding 25 or 30 PSI, I can just hold it down. Now that I'm getting close to the top, I'm going to stop and let it equalize because I don't want to overflow the bucket. I haven't been putting air in for the last 30 seconds. If it gets too full, I'll just pull it off real quick and stop the airflow. At which point it'll probably try to soak me again. Okay, that's... Shit. I'd rather it didn't do that. A little bit of water is coming back. Basically, there's a big giant air bubble in that line now, which is kind of working like a spring. So if you got air in the lines, it's going to come blowing out both ends. Right? Okay, so that's working nicely. Oh, good. I wasn't sure if that was going to be long enough. There we go. And in this case, red or blue doesn't make any difference at all. It just is what it is. Good. Okay. That should do it. And yeah, the most important thing, just set your air regulator to be lower than what your water pressure was in the system, and there should be no problem. Oh yeah, that's nice and light now. Trying to knock all the rust off. I know I'm going to have to sweep the tank out anyway, so... Alright, that should be alright. That is so much easier. Cool. Now... Using a little bit of water, but not too bad. The inner dialogue at this point is always, when I do this, what is going to come out at me? Because that's like a cavity in there that, you know, mice or snakes or somebody could be living in. So try not to grab it with your hands. Because really, that would be a great place to be. You know, if you get warm water flowing through there, that's freaking heated. That'd be good living right there. Guess we're okay this time, though. Okay, so far so good. Fine looking plumbing, huh? Alright, and these will now go under the bus for the next project. There we go. 3-inch screws holding this together. Okay. And yeah, we are unplugged. Now, yeah, this is pull that out. Now I've got a bunch of leftover conduit for the next project. I used electrical tape to hold everything in place before I could, like right here's the plug-in and its conduit. So I would take wraps of electrical tape just to tie everything together, because it all wanted to spring everywhere. So this way I could kind of grab a handful, tape it together really quick, and then it would stay put, right? So I'm going to cut it kind of in the middle so that I could reuse that piece maybe somewhere. Alright, here it goes. Alright, no water there, that's good. One part. This part probably won't have any water in it either. Now that I think about it. Okay. Now we can get these out of here. Very much water. Okay, these two next. That sure works good. It's one half. There's the other half. There's really hardly any water in there at all. Let's get that out of the way. Ring. Alright. Yeah, if I don't bleed it now, it's going to come out in the shower, so. It's falling pretty good now, though. And here comes the sputters. Wind noise, sorry. So today's the next day. I took a shower out of that last night and it was still wonderful. It only had about 3 hours to warm up on a cloudy day in the afternoon. I couldn't believe it. So we're definitely on the right track there. Didn't have any hot or cold spots that I noticed either. Pretty comfortable. It wasn't hot, but it was definitely comfortable. Well above brisk. Okay, the plan for today, I'm going to take that thing apart and move the tub and then roll up all the insulation. So thinking about it last night, instead of trying to pick up the tub over the side, since I'm taking it apart anyway, the sides will come off, so I'm going to just disassemble it and move the wood out of the way and then roll up the insulation and then move the tub. So I was thinking about trying to get the tub out of the way and then pulling the insulation out, and I'm like, well, that's just stupid. So I'm going to just leave the camera here where it's out of the way and we'll just get right on it. Yeah, how about that? Okay, wind blew it over. Guess that's all right. a millipede. That's about 4 or 5 inches long. It's the kind of stuff Nightmares is made of. All he really wants to do is stay out of the sun, so let's see if I can't get him into, well, he'll find his way to the shade. Yeah, almost. I'm just trying to get him far enough away so I don't step on him. I just found a snake in the trench, but I don't think it's a rattlesnake. Still, I jumped about 20 feet. Little tiny guy. Tail. Yeah, no rattle. That's pretty cool. He's about a foot long. He was completely submerged, so he or she, it's way over there now. Okay, so no rattle, probably not rattlesnake. Underneath on that side now, which is pretty much where I'm working. It's way underground, because this whole thing was closed off. That'd be a good place to be if you didn't want to be out in the heat. Interesting. I mean, it's kind of out in the open again. I was trying to figure out how to get back to cover. It was trying to dig into the side, but that didn't work out so good. It is very hard digging in there. I'm hoping it keeps going and out towards the grass, or, you know, the creek. That's going to take some getting used to. Things change so fast around here, though. I kind of get whatever. Okay. Definitely hot already. It's going to be a good shower tonight. I think I earned it. So let's see. What I was doing is, as I was digging, I was pushing it back that way to fill that hole in, and that pile is gone. This I'm going to wait on because I got an idea. I'm just going to think about it for a while. I pulled that section out, and the end, I just stuck a cap on here. I'm going to leave the valve open so I can see it, and I build a box around it. So there's I don't know, I'm just going to call it a flat cap. I just stuck it on. It's not glued. Okay, and in fact, I labeled it not glue so I could see that it was not glued. Good. So that'll be there for whenever, future expansion or something. Okay. Dug all of this out, pulled all the styrofoam out. Okay, no more styrofoam. All right, I'm going to leave this for now. Dug this one out. Now it's where I can find it. I will put a valve box on that one and that one. Get sidetracked here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was only 1 or 2 yesterday. The other ones are going to pop right away, it looks like. That's pretty cool. These are just flat out gorgeous. That red in the center, it just really, holy cow, right? A little bit windy, so it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and about 100 degrees on the 6th of May. This was the Redneck hot tub. I'm going to rig it up now for overflow from rainwater. So coming off of the roof, if like it happened earlier this year already, I had the rain gutters on the house, and I had enough, we're shooting right in the sun, anyway, you get the idea, enough water was coming out that all my tanks were full. So now I've got this black pipe connected to one of the trash cans. So when it starts to get too full, I can have it overflow. And so downhill of there is this hole. So I'm going to drop the tank in there. It's a 300-gallon tank. Figured the lower I get it, the better the water will flow. But this is pretty much below the bottom of the trash cans, I think, or pretty close. So good enough for now. And it's getting hot and I'm getting tired of digging. So there. I should look underneath first, I guess. Of course, it's hot. No self-respecting reptile would be underneath this thing right now. I am kind of sure. Good. Okay, fits. Now what I'm hoping is this thing will sit pretty flat, so that when it does have water, all right. A little bit after 4. Actually, not as hot as it was a couple days ago, so that was, I won't say refreshing, but nice. So, I'm going to say this one's done. Got it, I won't say leveled, but I smoothed the ground out. What I've been finding on these kind of projects, if I can rake it in a profile, you know, so that it's at least kind of even, and take my time and pack it down good, then the wind doesn't blow it as bad, and then the next time it rains, it just kind of smooths it out, so that, you know, it ends up just kind of matching everything else that's out here. I don't know, it's this funny thing, but laying out my rocks for the walkway kind of makes it look cool. Like somebody actually lives here instead of just a refugee or something. Yeah, it's the desert, but you make it nice. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much for following the adventure. I sometimes add information into the video description below, so be sure to check that out if you're curious. Like everyone always says, please do subscribe and click that notify bell so you know when I uploaded another video. If you know someone who might also enjoy these videos, it would be awesome if you could share it with them. Thanks in advance. And if you learned something useful, you might also consider helping to support my efforts. Options include Patreon, where you can make a small donation every month, or PayPal, where you could have a one-time donation. Or you could even send me gear from places like Amazon. Information and links are in the description and also on my Contact Me page. It's all the little bits that add up that really do make a difference out here, so thank you very much in advance, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.